Wow. Good morning, all. Welcome to the special edition of Tuesday Rugby Chat with myself and my good offsider. Commiserations, Mr. Mike Sheehan. Wow, what a weekend of footy we just witnessed in Heartland Rugby.
How you going, Rams? Yeah, good morning, all. That was a great spectacle of Heartland Rugby, and I think all the unions should be very, very proud of the games they put on over the weekend.
Yeah, no, it totally was. I mean, all started on Saturday with the Swamp Foxes getting up over mid Canterbury by 37-29. And I tell you, it was just one of those, oh, talk about ding dong battles. It was, you know, at halftime, it looked like the Swamp Foxes were going to get away with it. What was it, 20 points to 8 at the half. But Mid Canterbury, big ups to Mike Winter or Matt Winter, the coach and the team. They brought it back to the Swamp Foxes. As we have a look at some of these photos, what was your take from your Mid Canterbury eye?
Oh, yeah, it was a good game. We got a bit of a lead on us at half time. Got some good impact off the bench in the second half. Gordon Huasua and Lottie Lemademi. But yeah, no, full credit to Thames Valley. They came out on top. It was a great day. Great crowd, and the lads obviously a bit dejected, but yeah, no, they can be proud of the season they've had. I think they've had a really good season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these photos are just a selection of awesome photos by Bart's Photography up there at in the Thames region. So a big shout out to them as well. We are hoping to have a couple of special guests on later in the show, but I tell you, it was just a case scenario of when you see it was a great day, the great crowd, everyone getting in behind it. They had about 5,000 people there, a lot more than were probably at Sky Stadium for the Bunnings, what do you call it? Semi-final against Waikato. Big shout out to everyone that's involved with Thames Valley. It was well done. I don't think I got any more. I did have another photo. Oh, yeah, this is the one that you probably don't want to see. So we ended up Saturday with Thames Valley lifting the Meads Cup for the second time. Last one in 2018, their fifth national title. I just think it was all up a great advert for Heartland Rugby. We had the top teams finishing second and third and fourth. Just going to show you don't have to be at the top of the pile to be at the big dance. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. The point table was pretty well. The first four were pretty well sewn up um, before Saturday, but it was a great game of rugby and a great spectacle for Heartland Rugby.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, we did have the your fellas game, my fellas game, poor old West Coast, come out on Sunday. After watching that semi-final where it was 52-51 to West Coast, could anybody, literally anyone, have predicted what was going to happen at Tikawiti on Sunday afternoon? 46-44.
No, well, that was one of the best games of rugby I've watched in a long, long time. It was a battle between two very good sides, and they just threw everything at each other. They went for over, I think it was 102 minutes or whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of sore bodies. There were subs coming on, coming off, coming on, coming off, and it was just a chess game.
Yeah, well, I know
Yeah,
young Josh was there, so Josh, yeah, we do need more coverage. We could provide the coverage, but we keep on getting pinged by Sky Sport every time we do, and of course straight away we get one West Coaster followed by a Rams player there with Zach. I tell you, no, it was amazing. But hey, full credit to King Country. They started the season off with a pre-season match against Thames Valley, of all teams, FMG Stadium in a curtain raiser to Super Rugby. King Country got up in that game. But who, again, would have thought that was a prelude to these were the two teams that were going to end up with the silverware at the end of the Heartland season, the way South Canterbury were going, the way Wanganui were going, etc. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't predict West Coast to be there, but yeah, no, Thames Valley and King Country were my smokies for the competition, and bit of a shame West Coast couldn't back it up, but full credit to the King Country boys, and that picture there just says it all, I think. Oh no! Shout out to Aaron Dunst, 150 games for the region. That's a huge achievement.
Well, exactly. I mean, you look at that. I mean, sure, the Thames boys got the silverware, but that is such a lineup. I mean, they've got the trophy they play for there in the middle with the yellow and red ribbons when they play Thames Valley. They've got the Lahore Cup there. They've got the Bill Osborne Taonga. They've got the Pine Tree Log. Now, I can tell you right now, out of all of those trophies, the only one that they would have wanted there would have been the Meads Cup. But I tell you what, the Pine Tree Log comes a close second.
Yeah, no, that's an incredible achievement to get all those trophies in the cabinet for another year.
Oh, yes. Oh,
And
I
the
just lost them. Oh,
and the passion coming out of that union, from the coaches to the managers to the players to everyone involved. So congratulations.
Oh, sorry, someone's ringing me. Who's ringing me? Oh, I'll just take this call from this gentleman on the phone now. So you carry on.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so I was just saying it's a great achievement from the King Country Union to bank all those trophies for the summer. I'm sure there'll be some sore bodies around the region, but there'll also be some sore heads too, I'm guessing, after that.
Yeah, Josh,
What,
you know, we're just online now with your amazing
what,
photo of all your trophies.
which was what probably the game of the year, as Zach just alluded to.
Oh, okay. If you just click that link, then what will happen is, oopsie daisy, I'll just mute.
Yeah, so if you got any thoughts on the weekend's games, chuck them in the comments. Give us a shout out from where you're from around the regions as the Heartland competition for 2024 has drawn to a close in spectacular fashion.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I didn't realise I still had my mic on. I didn't mean to call you an arsehole.
I didn't hear
No,
that bit.
no. We may have a special guest coming online in a very, very short moment. So we'll just move that away just in case he does click on the links and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, for King Country to come away with all those trophies, it's just such an amazing feat. I mean, because, you know, they were just short of making the Meads Cup, and it was just a case scenario of, wow, you know, what could have been. I mean, but to the four teams that were in the Meads Cup, the four teams in the Lahore Cup, I mean, is it just me, or has there been a bigger following of Heartland Rugby in 2024? More people getting involved, the tribalism, just more passion. I mean, is that because we've got more coverage from streaming, or is it because people are just enjoying the brand of footy being played in the provinces?
Oh, I think it's a combination of both. You know, Heartland's always been pretty special to me. I'd rather watch it than NPC, but there's a lot of proud provinces out there and a lot of loyal followers, and I think this year has really taken off. Yeah, we've had some good crowd sizes, some excellent games of rugby, and some even better individual performances. And they've been rewarded by being selected in the New Zealand Heartland 15 going forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just turned off the sound off the other thing because I think that's what might have been upsetting your sound. But yeah, I mean, the Heartland 15, I mean, if we, as we wait, hopefully he can get in. the Heartland 15 has been announced for coming up for their 2-game series. This was announced a couple of weeks ago. As far as I know, there was no major injuries or anything like that in the squad. But I mean, still, yeah, they've got a couple of games against the New Zealand Maori selection, and then follow on the 29th of October, followed by the New Zealand Barbarians on the 2nd of November. Is it still sort of like, oh, here you go, attitude from New Zealand Rugby, do you think?
Sorry, just repeat that last bit again.
Or is it just, literally them saying, oh, here you go, keep you quiet, here's a couple of games?
Yeah, I think NZR needs to come to the party and give these guys a decent tour. Last year we seen them down here in Methven and Oamaru. Yeah, this year they're up in Wanganui, so it kind of gives all the South Islanders, can't obviously get to a game, so we're gonna have to watch it on TV or Sky Sports. Hopefully it'll be on Sky Sport and Sky Open. I think we've been pretty lucky with the coverage this year. Sky, a lot of people haven't got Sky, can't afford Sky, so they've got Sky Open, and they've put the games on there, which has been really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally a comment, though, that just came up, and I still don't believe why he is not in this team. Thank you for watching, Tamama, captain of the mighty red and white West Coast. He is still, I'm sure you are still sore, Tamama, after playing 102 minutes of an awesome season. But hey, to all the guys at West Coast, you can hold your head up. You've got the Rundle Cup tucked away for another year down there on the West Coast, and I'm sure you'll come back bigger and stronger for it next season. Maybe Meads Cup. Do you think that could be a possibility if West Coast can keep this squad together? Do you think they're going to be a force in 2025?
Oh, I think a lot of kudos needs to go to Sean Cuttins and his coaching team. He's done a lot of good things with that side over the years. And Troy and Jared and obviously Tamama. He's been a very inspirational leader. I thought he had a blinder on the weekend. His line out work was outstanding, and his mobility around the field. But yeah, no. If they can keep going the way they are, they'll be tracking for a pretty good 2025 season. If they can keep the squad together. I know there's a few guys that might be hanging up the boots or might be moving away, but yeah, it'll be good to see them all back in 2025 and have another shot. Nothing's guaranteed in Heartland. They might be into the Meads Cup next year, but it's probably a bit too early to speculate at the moment. But yeah, no, I'd imagine, as Tamama's alluded to, it's still a bit raw for a lot of guys. Yeah, I know it's pretty still raw for some of our fellas. So yeah, they'll take a while to get over that.
Yeah, well, the great thing that for me that's come through in this 2024 season is the amount of new players that we've seen blooded. I mean, if you take West Coast for example, they were looking for a first five, and someone said, check this guy out. He's playing club rugby down in Otago. So Sean gave him a call and said, hey, do you want to come up? And he went, yeah. Jacob Wakeri Jones out of the mighty Wellington fraternity here down in Otago University. And I mean, he took it all with both hands. He equaled a 91-year-old record only in his, third game for West Coast. And these guys are now pretty much been given the tag of honorary coasters because of the effort that they all put in. I think overall, West Coast used about 17 new players this year. And a lot of them all from club rugby as well on the coast. They played within the rules. They brought in their imports. They brought in their player of origin. But then you flip the coin over there, and then you look at North Otago. you know, they had 17 brand new debutants in their squad as well. You look at South Canterbury, sure, they've been going along well, but they still had, what, half a dozen new debutants this year.
Mm,
So
mm.
there is a lot. Oh, okay, one was Higa Elliott at the age of 50,000 years old. But hey, even dinosaurs can still make a Heartland 15 team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's like our squad. You know, I'm not too sure how many new players are in there, but we had three loan players from New Brighton Club in Christchurch. Tyson Bellworthy was one of them. He only played one game for us, and then he got snapped back by the Crusaders. And he might have played another couple of games, and then yeah, that was the last we saw of him. But we had Kieran McClay, who's from down Otago, and I think the Thames Valley number 9 originates from down there as well. So yeah, so we had Kieran. Obviously, when it went south with Tyson, we called in Kieran, who's obviously grew up here, so he was eligible, and he grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and boy, did he put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally still buzzing from the weekend because not only was the Heartland just amazing, but we also had two really, really good NPC finals,
Mm.
semi-finals. And, you know, my mighty Wellington boys got up, did the business, got up. Well, I mean, it was a late surge by the Mooloos, but the Wellington boys hung deep. I don't know if you've actually got to see the mic'd up Duplessis Carifi on the breakdown program the other night. But my God, is he a leader of that team or what? It's going to be a tough battle in the final this weekend. But I mean, you know, who are they going to come up against? They're going to come up with our good buddy Marcus's Steamers, who got up and well, it was a tight game, but then they just came out in that second half and blew the Cantabs off the park.
Yeah,
And a
yeah,
great victory at Tauranga.
yeah, they did. I think Canterbury pretty much got annihilated, whichever way you want to look at it. It was a great game from the Steamers. I know Marcus will be humming. He was amping it up in his bay chat couple of days prior, and oh yeah, just I mean the crowd, the crowd at that game was unreal, and yeah, full credit to Wellington. That game was a humdinger as well, and they deserved the victory.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did promise you all a special guest, and I can't get a better special guest on the show than Mr. Josh Standen from the King Country Rugby Union. Good morning, Josh. Congratulations on your guys' awesome victory in the weekend. What a spectacle and what a season the Rams have had. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, morning, the great Rebs. Thanks for having us on. Feeling good today. Making our way back to Tikawiti after a day off yesterday to clean up the aftermath of the celebrations. So, yeah, if that kind of answers your question.
Oh, totally. I mean, the celebrations on the thing here. I mean, at the start of the season when you beat Thames Valley up there at FMG Stadium in the Super Rugby pre-season warm-up, did you
Yeah.
believe this is the photo that will be on your wall for the rest of your life? I mean, what a lineup of trophies your team have successfully captured this year.
Yeah, to be honest, without being too over the top, we definitely had positive high hopes and goals. I mean, it's every PU's goal at the start of a Heartland campaign to be in that Meads, right?
Yeah.
And kind of we're going into the unknown a bit, I suppose. In May, when we played Valley, we had a young side. We had a lot of young new guys, mixed in with a blend of experienced campaigners. But I think that was the game where a lot of belief. The group got a lot of belief from that game, and that just carried on. We had a good showing against Hawke's Bay at the Shield game, a game where we introduced a few young guys, and the team just continuously grew, mate. And so I don't think it's a fluke that we've locked away 4 trophies this year.
Well, I mean, because as you know, I've had previous associations with Wanganui. I do know how important the pine tree log is. How good is it to have that back in the office and picking up your first win? I think since 2013 over there at Cook's Gardens. Would that not have been one of the major highlights for the team this season?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the team or the coaching group, but an away win to Wanganui, we were current holders of the pine tree log, and because we won that back off them in Taumaranui last year, so there was no way we were going to let that go, and it was a hell of a performance the boys put on. They were on fire that day. And that got us in good stead for semi-finals and then the final. So awesome to lock that magnificent trophy away. We beat North Otago the week before in a challenging game for the Maroon and Gold Cup, and again a lot of learnings were had that game because it got a bit tight, but the boys come through the other side. A couple of fantastic trophies locked away, and what a bonus picking up the BOT in Wanganui, because we spanked Buller down there and brought that home, had it for a week, and then our close neighbours Valley took it off us in Tikawiti. Another close game, could have gone either way, and to lock the BOT away as well it was a magnificent day in Whanganui a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it is a great new competition. That, as you know, Mike here is from the Mid Canterbury region, so he's a bit sore on the Thames Valley result. But hey, I mean, and then Canterbury getting beaten by the Bay of Plenty. What's in the water up there in Chiefs country at the moment? Oh, and the girls winning.
Waikato won the FPC. Mate, it's just a region of hard workers, I think, Rabs. We keep it real. And
cool.
Just hard work.
Not many latte. Not many latte drinkers up your way.
No, and here's me sipping on a flat white in the middle of big old Dunedin.
Oh no, that's awesome. But I mean, we were talking about the upcoming Heartland squad as well. I'll just see if I can quickly find that here. You did get a couple of good boys in there, including one that you're quite happy about, with Christian getting in there. So I mean, Caleb and Christian, Mike had already pulled that out of his out of left field earlier in the season, that Caleb should be there. Are you a bit disappointed, though, that there's not a bigger representation from the Heartland Unions in this squad?
Yeah, no, I can only speak to our union. We're pretty disappointed. Our captain never made it. I think Liam's probably one of the best Heartland players running around in his position. Liam Rowlands. Cruz Dunster's been there before. He was just a man mountain in the middle of that pack for us. Maximus Dunster's had a great year, kind of breakthrough year at 6 and lock. Our front row have pushed a lot of scrums around this year. So, but hey, you're at that selections, and like I said, I'm not going to delve into that too much.
Well, you mentioned the scrums there. We all had seen how West Coast went this season with their scrums and their forward pack. I mean, watching that game, that was a battle royal up front, was it not? In the final.
Pretty physical. There were some big hits out there. I didn't watch the game properly until last night, to be fair, because when you're running match ops, you don't actually get to kind of watch a lot of it. And they both packs were going each other with some big hard carries, and we got them on the wood on them a couple of times. A couple of big scrums, but then they held their own as well, and then they got some big humans, that West Coast team. They definitely took it to us.
Well, I don't think many can get as bigger as one of Mike's players from Mid Canterbury. Famous. Vassar. I can't even say his name. The big number 11 on the wing.
Vassarakuda, yeah.
That's the one. I was watching him in the weekend in that Meads Cup game, and he was just he had a bit of a Jonah Lomu look to him, actually, the way, when he was standing against those other guys. But, I mean, overall, would you agree with us that this has probably been one of the more interesting Heartland seasons we've had in a number of years, especially with the tribalism that's come out with social media and with it being on Sky Open, so people that can't afford Sky can still get to watch some of these games free to air.
Yeah, 100%, Rabs. And I think, that top four, Mead semis wasn't done and dusted right up until the last round. Teams are still jockeying for positions in that top four, and then down in the Lahore, it was still wide open, to make that Lahore. So that's a good comp, right? When you've got, 8 to 10 teams that can, jostling for semi-final positions. So very meaningful and, awesome comp.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you go right down to that bottom of that table, I mean, Wairarapa Bush just had to get that victory over Ngāti Pro East Coast to make it, but they just fell short. Ngāti Pro, they can still hold their heads up high. And, of course, even though Buller and Poverty Bay had, seasons, Buller did win the BOT at one point. Poverty Bay pushed a lot of teams really close. So, as you said, at the end of the day, it is the bounce of the ball that can go either way. Any parting thoughts maybe from you, Josh? I know you're on the road there. You don't have any silverware there with you, do you?
No, we're still we're still trying to find a few trophies. We've got a big Ripper day tomorrow with our primary schools, what we call our King Country wide primary schools Ripper finals. So we've got 400 kids descending on Owen Delaney Park. So hopefully we can track our tonga down and get them in front of these kids tomorrow. Get our kids photos with those magnificent trophies. And mate, just hell of a season. I think we really, as a union, our little union, or we got a big geographic union. We needed this. We've had a rough year on off the field a bit with things that went out of our control personally. So as a union, we've had a few changes recently, and it was just awesome to finish the season off on a high. And mate, those Rams boys, their management, Azza and his men, just kept those boys connected, and it was an awesome culture. So really proud of Azza and Ben Draper and Gene Waller, Cesar and Ben Sheriff, their manager, Bronwyn, our physio. Just a real special group. So we just keep it going, and thanks for your Heartland, support of Heartland Rabs. You're always in there batting for us, so thanks heaps, mate.
Well, thank you very much for that, because I mean, a lot of people have heard me, go, oh, I don't really want to support Waikato this weekend, but I do have some ancestors buried behind the stadium there and at the cemetery in Hamilton there. Something a lot of people probably aren't aware of, though, is I do whakapapa back to Tamaranui. My mum was born there. I have family lay in there, I suppose you could say. So I do have, I had to go through Taranui last year and managed to track them all down at where they rest. And I just, so yeah, so I do have some King Country blood in the old rabbit, believe it or not. So that's why I sort of have a small thing for you guys, even though I'm go Wellington this weekend. Not that Marcus Howie would allow me to say that on his show, but this weekend I'll just leave you with the other competition, that that meaningless one just above you called the NPC. Wellington or Bay of Plenty? Is sticking with the Chiefs?
Sticking with the Chiefs, mate. Got some great friends over in the Bay, with Ports and Co there. So up the Bay. And thanks, Mike. Thanks, Rebs. I better catch you on.
Thanks,
Okay.
Josh. Congratulations,
Thank
mate.
you, Josh, and thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the week. So there we go.
He sounds a bit dusty. He sounds a bit dusty, doesn't he?
He definitely sounds a bit dusty, but I do thank Josh, who was on the road. I thought we may have had to have taken a recording. For anyone else watching this, there was meant to be another guest on, but he must be really dusty. Hey, Mr. Day from Thames Valley. But anyway, hopefully we can catch up with him later on, or if not next week. We'll give him a week to get over his hangover. Maybe we could get Marcus on as well.
Yeah, I like how Josh said he's got to find the trophy, so I'm presuming they'll be scattered around various locations within the union. That's not at people's houses, ready to be washed out.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's sort of like I'm sitting there going, okay, so I didn't want to say where are they or who's got them, but to answer an earlier question from Kevin Loy, well, we are into finals weekend. Just before we were just going to go to this before Josh came online. So yeah, Saturday 3:00. Well, it says kickoff 2:30, but it's not. It's 3:05. First versus fourth at the stadium, and then their second graphic, of course, comes up at 3:05. Wow, what a matchup we've got coming here. Hopefully the stadium will be packed out. Unfortunately, it's $25 a ticket. I know it's a final, but come on, $25 a ticket?
A lot of money, isn't it?
I mean, okay, sure, they've said for every adult ticket you can take 3 kids for free. Okay, so it's a $25 family pass. Not everyone has 3 children to take.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And it's at 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm about 20 minutes from the car park to here where I'm at right now, and so if that game starts at 3:05, and don't forget this game went to extra time, golden point during the season, but when we hit extra time in a grand final, it's 10 minutes each way, I'm guessing. So let's just say it goes to extra time. So we'll still be watching that at about 5:00. By the time your team wins and you stay behind to congratulate them and cheer them on and whoop onto your social medias, you're not leaving yourself much time to get home to watch a team called the All Blacks play Japan at 7:00, are we? Why was this game not New Zealand Rugby scheduled for Sunday?
Yeah, more planning that hasn't gone to plan, I guess. But yeah, it should have been a bit earlier, surely.
It should be earlier, but the thing is, it's not like the All Blacks suddenly turned around and said, "We're going to be playing on this day." You know what I mean? That's the thing. They've known for a long time that this game was going to be. The All Blacks were going to be playing on October the 26th at 7:00 in Japan. So they could have easily. I know they locked stuff in, but it is the long weekend. Teams still can get home on Monday because it is Labour weekend. Don't forget. Start of barbecue season. Yum. But anyway,
Yep.
your prediction for the game. Now, Marcus has already thrown down the gauntlet to me that I've got to be wearing a Bay of Plenty jersey. Well, how hard is that going to be for me?
Uh,
And
yeah,
which
I'm
way are you
gonna.
go?
I'm gonna pick Wellington by 8.
Wellington by 8. Well, the great news is, in young Marcus's tipping comp, I'm now 9 points clear and only 0.23 points behind the leader in Nigel Yalden, the commentator actually for Sunday's the Hawke Cup final. I'm only just trailing some dude called Wade in that. So I really have to put my thinking cap on, not for Marcus's group, but to try and win Nigel Yalden's group. I did notice the chap I'm up against went Bay of Plenty when Wellington beat them on Golden Point. I'm just wondering whether he's going to go the same. Do I pick a draw? I don't know. I don't know how that competition works with a draw at 80 minutes. But even though, and I know he's probably watching young Marcus, I can't tip against my Mighty Lions. My Mighty Lions, it's going to be a battle royal. I'm going to say another penalty on that will prevent it going to full time so we can all get to watch the All Blacks. There we go. 79th minute penalty to Wellington to win 23-20. There we go. Even gave you a score for your TAB.
Yeah, no, we should be doing a special shout out to Nigel Yalden and Isaac Boss for the commentary of the Lahore Cup. That was those two guys are they're just unreal commentators, and we can't forget that try in the corner. That was for me the try of the year. I don't know how the hell he got it down because Jarrell Hammer was barreling at him from the side, but yeah, he managed to get it down. So yeah, shout out to Smiler for that try. That was unreal.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is Clarence has just asked me if we're going live online, and I just quickly went to our Facebook page because you know what, as I said, we did show those videos earlier on, but we are live. He must be watching us on the YouTube, I'm guessing, but we are on there, and hopefully we haven't been cut off. We can always. Good thing is I have got a full recording of this show, so we can always replay it again later.
He might be might be talking about Saturday, but you'll be at the rugby, so.
Oh yes. Well, no. In saying that, we will be helping Bay of Plenty with their online chat on Friday, with their Bay chat, as they're all in a bus travelling down on Friday. So I did ask young Marcus if they were not going to do a show, and he says no, we're going to stop off in Taupo. So keep an eye out for Bay Chat on Friday around lunchtime or whatever time the bus stops, and and we'll go from there. But hey, I could also bring you some maybe some Facebook Live from the stadium wearing blue and gold. Things I do to get a free jersey, but hey, I'll do it. I will wear a Wellington jersey underneath though. Also though, there has been a few things on around the country as well, not just NPC. Interesting photo here that popped up on my feed yesterday, and that was the New Zealand police team. We did mention them a couple of weeks ago. These are all the boys in their club colours. Great to see Wairarapa Bush there with Tougher wearing his Wairarapa 50th anniversary jersey, which I had a help in. But they got up 24-12 over the Queensland Police last night. And earlier in the week, I think it was on, this is also from last night's game. It's interesting to see whoever came up with the team colours, they're pretty similar. You really got to zoom in to notice that Queensland are wearing blue with a bit of red. So that would have been a fun game to watch it would have been a hard game to watch. But the New Zealand girls, they got up, the New Zealand police women got up over the Aussie women by 27-0. And the last game of the tour is actually on today at 4:30. I'm unsure exactly if there's going to be coverage anywhere or anything like that. But it's they're playing the Queensland Police. So that's a quick fire 3 games for the police women as well. They beat Norths, they beat Australia Police, so they'll be looking from 3 from 3. So hey, good on them. We talked about that last week, and apparently New Zealand Police. I spoke about it. I think it might have been on SENZ. New Zealand Police actually, they raise their own funds to go over there and do all that stuff. So it's not a NZR backed tour. But what I do want to end on is this: the New Zealand under 85s were named, and they're currently in discussions with another union about an overseas tour next year in 2025. But as it says there, they have had selections before, but the teams have never assembled. Now, the reason I say that is because, these guys have been named, and congratulations. There's a few Wellington guys in there, and, quite a nice spread. But they've also mentioned 3 or 4 players that have not been selected due to injury. They've named a full coaching panel, but they're not going anywhere. I mean, that's like saying, Mike, you're in the team. You've been selected for the All Blacks. To me, it's sort of like, why name a squad if you're not going to actually send them anywhere? Why name coaching staff? Why name guys that are unavailable because of injury? I mean, that's even worse, because now you're saying, oh, you're injured, you can't go on the tour, that's not going to ever happen anyway.
Well, these guys, these guys need to have some games. They're the future of our future of our rugby stocks, and to go and name a team, and all the players are going to be hyped up and telling their families, and where are we going? Well, nowhere at the moment. So maybe they can try and get them a game here in New Zealand or overseas, but it's pretty poor form, to be fair.
It certainly is, and as you just saw from this comment as well, though, so all this is happening over in Australia at the moment with the police team. Brendan Murphy, I mean, how good's that? Travelled from Toowoomba to Tikawiti for the final. I mean, did he not get his money's worth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. But anyway,
that's commitment. That's commitment if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, well, it was. And also, the season's not over yet. As I said, we've still got NPC final. We've still got the end of season All Black tour coming. And there's, plenty of rugby on. Sevens are starting around the country. So if you're thinking this is the last show of the year, it ain't. We'll keep going. I don't know what Mike will be doing. He might be out in the garden planting his kumara. But we will still be floating around.
Don't forget the Heartland 15 either.
Exactly, the Heartland 15. So we'll be back next week looking at all of that. Catch it. Hopefully they'll have it on the social so we can see it. As I said, I might have to make some phone calls to stop them from blocking our feeds every now and then when I show highlights from their own channel, which is in public view. So, it's sort of like, we're not making any money out of this. No one's paying me to do all this, or paying Mike, even though Mike wants a couple of bottles of moonshine later in the year, next time I'm down in Ashburton. But but I think Marcus is going to actually hit you, try and beat you to the punch on that one on Friday night. Oh, Friday night? Yeah. Watch out, Rabbit could be in town in Wellington with Steamer fans. That could be dangerous.
That will be dangerous.
I know, even to the point where Mrs. Rabbit might be dropping me off. So that's even worse.
That's good.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, it's been a great season. I'll just say, well done to the King Country Rams. Thank you, Josh Standen, for joining us, the community manager from King Country. Well done to West Coast for putting on an amazing season. I hope I'm still working with you fellas next year. And to Thames Valley and the Swamp Foxes, to Scott Penny, Scott Day, Tane, everyone that's involved there, all the Lucas McIver, the management, everybody there, well done on winning the Big Gong, the Meads Cup. Let's look forward now to the NPC Grand Final on Saturday. Let's look forward to the Heartland 15 next week. And I'll leave today's show with the final word from Ash Burton.
Yeah, it's been a great season. Congratulations to all the winners. We've just witnessed two pretty good games of Heartland Rugby over the weekend, and I was just, I was just in awe of it. It's four teams going hammer and tong, and there was obviously two winners. So congratulations to Thames Valley and King Country and the coaches and management. So West Coast, yeah, great season. Hopefully see you back stronger. Yeah, well, that's another year done and dusted. So the only way now is up, and well, they'll be back next year.
Yep, and I'll just get you to stay on the line as we go offline, but I'll just get you to stay there because I have got a couple of things to say quickly to you. Back in the green room. So until next Tuesday, or maybe even Friday night from Courtney Place, this is Rabbit calling you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Okay.